Let's talk about something that can be a real headache if you do business in India. That is, calculating the goods and services tax, or GST, on advance payments. It sounds simple, but wow, getting it wrong can cause some serious issues. So today, we're going to make it super clear.
And this right here is the hero of our story, the Advance GST Calculator. It's a beautifully simple online tool, and its entire job is to solve that very specific and very common business problem without any of the usual fuss.
So, you might be wondering, what's the big deal? Why do businesses, freelancers, and pretty much anyone who gets paid up front need a special tool just for this one tax calculation? Let's dive in.
We're calling this the advance payment puzzle. And it really is a puzzle, because even though the rules themselves are straightforward, the math can easily trip you up, especially when you're trying to, run your actual business.
And here's the one rule that creates the whole puzzle. In India, under the GST law, if you get money before you deliver the goods or services, that advance payment is taxable. You can't just wait until the final invoice goes out. The tax is due right then and there. And that one little requirement is where all the complexity starts.
Okay, so we've laid out the problem. Now let's get some clarity with the solution, a dedicated calculator.
At its core, an Advance GST Calculator is pretty much what it says on the tin. It's an online tool designed to take all the guesswork and, frankly, the annoying manual math out of the equation. You pop in the numbers, and it instantly gives you the correct tax breakdown. It's simple, it's fast, and most importantly, it's accurate. All right, let's get practical. We're going to tackle the most common situation you'll face: how to actually add GST onto an advance payment. This is the number one question, right? You've got your base amount for the advance, and you know you need to add tax to it. So how do you get it right every single time?
Well, you could do it the manual way. You take your advance amount, you multiply it by the GST rate, and then you divide by 100. So let's say it's an advance of 10,000 rupees at 18% GST. The tax comes out to 1,800 rupees. It's not rocket science, but it's an extra step. And that's exactly where mistakes can happen.
But here's the much easier way. With the calculator, you just type in that advance amount, pick the GST rate from a dropdown, and make sure you've selected GST exclusive. That just tells the tool that your number doesn't include tax yet. And boom, it instantly spits out the GST and the total for you. No formulas, no chance of a typo.
Okay, but what about the flip side? Sometimes you've got a total number that already has the tax baked in, and you need to work backward to pull the GST out. This happens all the time in accounting, right? You get a total payment, say 11,800 rupees, and you know that includes the GST, but you need to figure out how much was the original base amount and how much was just the tax. How do you pull those two apart?
And yeah, you guessed it, there's a manual formula for this too. And it's a bit more awkward. You take the total amount, multiply it by 100, and then divide all that by 100 plus the GST rate. So for an 18% rate, you're dividing by 118. It works, for sure, but it's definitely not something you want to be doing in a hurry. And just look how the tool makes this a non-issue. You enter the total amount, and this time you just select GST inclusive. The calculator instantly runs the reverse calculation, showing you the original base amount and the tax portion. It's just so much more efficient. Now, of course, the rate you use is absolutely key. GST in India isn't just one number. It's broken into these different slabs. You've got 5% for essentials, 12% and 18% for most standard goods and services, and then 28% for things like luxury items. The right rate really depends on what that advance payment is actually for. But for the vast majority of services and a whole lot of goods that people ask for advance payments on, the rate you're going to see over and over is 18%. That's why most of these online GST calculators, including this one, usually just default to 18% because it covers the most common situations. So we've seen how the tool works, but let's ask the bigger question. Why does a simple little thing like this actually matter so much for your business? At the end of the day, using a tool like this is about so much more than just convenience. It's about accuracy, no more mismatched invoices. It's about saving a ton of time. It's about making sure you're compliant with tax rules, and it's about being totally transparent with your customers. And for the people this is really built for, small businesses, freelancers, entrepreneurs, what this really means is more professional billing and honestly, just plain old peace of mind. You know your numbers are solid, your invoices are clear, and you're following the law without needing to be a tax genius. It really just all boils down to this. The absolute easiest way to handle GST on these advance payments is with a tool that was built for that one job. It helps you dodge errors, get your time back, and stay on the right side of the rules. It makes a complex thing feel simple. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? We operate in this really complex financial world, but as we've just seen, sometimes a really simple, focused tool can completely eliminate a major point of stress. It makes you wonder, what other little headaches in our day-to-day work could be solved just as easily?